Newly released emails show top brass at the nation's major health agencies may have inappropriately influenced an investigation looking into alleged ethical blunders with research on babies. The research was funded by one of the same agencies now under fire, and Scripps national investigative correspondent Mark Greenblatt has the story from Washington.
The alleged wrongdoing began soon after a regulator ruled parents of more than 1,300 premature babies were not properly warned about increased risks of injury or death. The National Institutes of Health itself funded the study, but emails that just became public show the top brass at NIH and other U.S. health officials stepping in, trying to influence and even edit the investigators' findings.
This is one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen in the history of NIH-funded research.
Dr. Michael Carome used to lead the compliance division at Health and Human Services that investigated allegations of unethical research studies on humans. Now he works for the watchdog group Public Citizen, which obtained 400 pages of internal government emails that he says show
the National Institutes of Health was allowed to interfere and tell the regulators, the ethics police, what they should do in this matter, and got them to back off their enforcement action.
Take a look. On May 1st of last year, NIH Director Francis Collins told a deputy HHS secretary that his staff was working with the very regulators examining the NIH study, saying NIH was developing a, quote, consensus set of statements that the Office of Human Research Protection could put forward. 2 days later, the director of that office sent back a, quote, revised version. And soon after, a new regulatory letter went out with a softened stance, saying now, we want to be clear it is not necessary to disclose all theoretical risks present at the outset of every study, which is why Public Citizen says
we need a strong, independent office that can investigate when there are allegations of misconduct in research funded by NIH or any other federal department.
Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro agrees. She's calling on the Inspector General of HHS to open an investigation, saying she has serious concerns about how NIH was allowed to interfere and improperly influence the regulatory investigation.
In a statement, HHS downplayed the controversy, telling us that regulators here, quote, regularly work with entities like NIH. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for the Office of Inspector General confirms that they're in receipt of calls for an investigation and say that they're studying the matter carefully. Mark Greenblatt for the Scripps National Bureau in Washington.
To read more examples of those 400 pages of emails, log on to our website at abc15.com.